Philippians chapter 4, verses 11 through 13. Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned, in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. I know both how to be abased and how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed, both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. In life, we go through many phases and ordeals. Years ago, I began a consulting business to assist manufacturing companies improving their processes to improve productivity and their bottom line. And this included both machine analysis and redesign and continuous improvement in production management systems. Well, the business began with a bang. Contracts rolled in, and I was living the high life for about 6 months, and then the bottom dropped out. I had no work for about 6 months. My business account dropped down to zero, and then I dug into my personal account, and we also went close to the bottom. Then the business started coming in again, and through this I learned to be more frugal with my income so that I would always have sufficient resources to weather the droughts that come in life. Well, I thought that I'd learned my lesson. However, 6 months later, the exact same thing happened again. We had another 6-month drought, no business. And the same thing happened. The business account was drained. My personal account was drained. I even had to sell my second car, our second car one that I had restored, in order to get money to pay the bills and to purchase food for the family. I went out to find business, and no matter how many doors I knocked on, I could get nothing. I got no business. Then one day, when things were getting desperate, we were right at the bottom. I received a call from a manufacturing company that needed a modification to one of their machines. I took the job, and within a month had sufficient operating capital to get a paycheck and keep the business going. Then something miraculous happened. I started getting call after call for work. Soon the business was flush, and we never saw another drop-off. What was the lesson? Through thick and thin, the lesson was that the Lord always has provided. Even when we were down at the bottom, we had sufficient resources to pay our bills and get through the storm. Paul, in this section, gives us a lesson on faith. He wrote of his ups and downs while in the ministry. And while there were times of abundance, there were times when he had plenty and was content. There were also times when he was lean. Yet in every situation, he realized that the Lord was with him and that the Lord had provided everything that he needed. So he concluded this: I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. What specifically did Paul learn? He learned to trust the Lord to take him through any situation of life. Paul would accomplish the mission that the Lord had given him. It was not by Paul's might or strength that he accomplished the mission and he had what he needed. On the contrary, Paul realized that he could do all things through the Lord who gave him strength. And somehow, through the ups and downs of the consulting business that I ran, I learned a similar lesson that would carry me through the pastoral ministry. Early on in my pastoral ministry, I planted a small church on a college campus where my first year's salary was $100 per month. Yes, I was in a bivocational status, and while I focused on the ministry and not the consulting business, every time the finances approached zero, I would receive a phone call from someone who needed my services. I realized that the Lord constantly provided. And what I learned through all this would become vital when I answered a call to pastor a church in New Hampshire that was struggling. Financially, they could only guarantee me 6 months of income. Yet I knew that the Lord wanted me there and that he would provide. And he did. Within 2 years, the Lord grew the church in every way, and there was a budget surplus after 2 years, and this continued during my 10-year tenure at that church. You see, when you experience difficulty in life, realize that God is often using it to strengthen you in the faith. And when he does so, you become stronger coming out of the trial than when you went in.